Hey friend, quick interruption because I have the most exciting thing to tell you. The She Sells Black Friday soiree is happening November 17th through the 21st. And this is not your average sale. It's 5 days of champagne-worthy deals, offers, and business resources designed to help you sell smarter, simplify your systems, and scale your sales in 2026. If you're ready to turn your hard work into real profit and celebrate the kind of success that feels good, head to andeehart.com/Black Friday to get on the guest list. That's andeehart.com/Black Friday. Here's to celebrating your sales in 2026, my friend. Welcome back to the She Sells Differently podcast, where we teach creative sales strategies that align with your values. And today we are talking about selling wholesale on Faire Marketplace. If you've ever listed your products on Faire, you have probably thought at some point, why isn't anyone finding me? And if that is you, then today's episode is for you. Because success on Faire is not about luck. And I hear this all the time. I see clients do this all the time. They put their products out there on Faire and then they just wait for retailers to find them. Even if you have the most beautiful product images or the lowest prices, it's about knowing how the algorithm thinks and feeding it exactly what it wants. And so today we are going to talk about how to do just that and how to sell smarter, not harder, using Faire Marketplace. Hi friends, welcome to She Sells Differently, the show for aspiring women entrepreneurs looking to overcome the fear of selling and grow thriving businesses from a place of authenticity and confidence. I'm Andee Hart, and it wasn't all that long ago that I was a sales executive for a Fortune 500 company. But I knew in my heart that I was called to use my gifts for something more, something different. That's exactly why I created the She Sells Differently podcast. Each episode is going to deliver you business strategies, tools, and mindset shifts to help set you and your brand apart from our culture's expectations. It's time to elevate your sales and build a profitable, sustainable business you're proud of, one built on integrity, grace, and humility. It's time to learn how to sell differently. Now, the first thing I want to mention, because I see this all the time in Facebook groups, I hear clients say this all the time, I do not like paying Faire 15% of my sales. Actually, at the end of the day, it ends up being a little bit more than 15%. But I want to talk about the reality that as you scale a product-based business, if and when you scale to the point you hire a sales rep, guess what? You are going to be paying them 20% at least commission to do what Faire is doing for you if you know how to work Faire right. And so we're going to dive into that strategy today, but I think that's important to understand that up front. You don't want to put all of your eggs in the Faire basket. I never teach that, but it is an opportunity to really expand your reach. Since the pandemic, we have seen so many more independent retailers shopping on Faire because they were not able to shop at trade shows in person. And so what is really happening on Faire is just the explosion of online shopping for independent retailers, over 700,000 of them to be exact. And they are shopping from thousands of brands. So during recent Faire Market events, over 57,000 retailers placed more than 300,000 orders. And that's hundreds of thousands of buying decisions made in just a few days. So I don't want you to look at that from a saturated market standpoint. I want you to look at that from an opportunity standpoint. The wild part is that Faire generated around $616 million in revenue last year, up more than 70% from the year before. So this is not a niche marketplace anymore. It is a wholesale economy. So when we are talking about optimizing for visibility on Faire, we are talking about standing out in a very active marketplace, and it is growing year over year. So you have to be smart, and you cannot just set it and forget it. Anytime you are scaling a business, it takes work. It takes intentional, consistent work. And so let's talk about operational excellence inside your Faire shop. That's the first half of the formula. It's your operational rhythm inside the Faire platform. Now, the Faire algorithm, it rewards consistency. They want you to show them that you're reliable. So they are going to reward brands that consistently bring retailers to their platform and also consistently convert and provide reliable customer service. So think of it like Faire's way of saying, show us that you are a great and reliable brand. So there's a few ways that you can do this. The first thing, and I don't necessarily recommend setting your minimum order quantity to 0, but I find this statistic interesting. When you do set your minimum order quantity to 0, that is the single most clicked on filter on Faire's site. So it is instantly going to signal that you're retailer friendly and you're easy to buy from. Now, I also want to caution you when you set that minimum order quantity to 0, you also run the risk of getting very small orders from retailers that are just testing you out and may not ever buy from you again. So I always stress and recommend that you place your minimum order quantity at least 150, and this will vary from industry and niche. So if you're selling low-cost stickers, you might want to set your minimum order quantity lower. But for candles, that's an easy sell, and any retailer can absolutely meet a $150 minimum order quantity. So that is not high by any means for a retailer to meet. So the second thing that you absolutely want to strive for is reviews. People miss this all the time, and Faire does not do a good job of helping you get reviews as a wholesale brand. But brands with 35 or more 5-star reviews, they will see a 10% higher conversion rate. That's not small. That is the kind of lift that compounds significantly over time. So if you can get your brand to at least 35 or more 5-star reviews, that is going to give you a significant boost in Faire's algorithm because once again, you're telling Faire that you are a reliable brand. So if you need help with how to drive 5-star reviews for your brand, I have an amazing tip that works so well, and it's in my Faire Visibility Playbook. I'll talk about that here in a minute, but every time I have had someone implement this tip, they see at least 2 to 3 5-star reviews within a week. So just a little side note there. The third piece is that SEO matters as well. SEO, for those that are not aware, search engine optimization. You want to use all 60 characters in your title or you are wasting space. All 60 characters in your title and all 1,000 characters in your product description. So you will also want to make sure that you're writing your product descriptions for retailers, not the same product descriptions that you would have on your website that sells direct to consumer. You want to think about key phrases that your retailers are searching for. And that's how you want to write product descriptions, because that's going to trigger words that your retailers are searching for. And then the last thing is you do not want to forget visuals, because that is the first thing that retailers see. And more times than not, I will see maybe decent product imagery, but everything looks the same in their Faire shop. And so they have nothing that distinguishes each product variant. And there are little things that you can do in your product images. And when you have a great photographer, they will know exactly what I'm talking about. But lifestyle images using your products in everyday life, but also when you have them styled, small additions to the image that complement your product that just distinguish each product variant. So I'll give you a specific example. If you have a fresh citrus candle, add an orange or a lemon that just accents your candle, but shows immediately when you look at that product image that that is a citrus fragranced candle. So you are not just looking at a generic candle with a white background. And that is an easy way to capture retailers' attention. The goal is to make it effortless for retailers to picture your products in their store. And I always say this, but you want to make doing business with your brand easy. You want to make doing business with your brand easy. And so your operational rhythm doesn't end with just setting up your Faire site. It means that you are constantly adding new products each month. You're keeping your catalog and your portfolio fresh. And the brands that upload regularly and they are adding those new products, those are the ones that the Faire algorithm continues to push forward and gives visibility to those retailers. So let's talk about the second half of the equation. And this is what happens outside of Faire. This is part of your operational rhythm as well, because these are things that you must be doing on an ongoing basis. Faire's top priorities are retailer growth and gross merchandise value. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. The more you drive traffic and repeat sales, the more Faire promotes you. That means running your own outreach, finding your own retailers and uploading your leads to Faire Direct. And that also means that you're paying 0% commission on those retailers. But in turn, Faire is going to continue to promote you because you are bringing new retailers to their platform. Guess what? Even if those retailers are already on their platform, they see that you are bringing leads to them. And so they will reward you with the algorithm. The other thing that you can do as part of your operational cadence is sending weekly emails directly through Faire's marketing CRM. Tell your retailers what's new, provide value, what's selling well in your product portfolio. How do they merchandise your products? How can they stage your products in their shop? And if you have a conversion rate that is already fairly strong, over 10%, I would say try Faire's promoted listings. They might not be profitable right away, but the lifetime value of a retailer can actually be 10 to 20 times that first sale. And the more you utilize Faire's marketing programs, like their insider program and promoted listings, the more Faire will continue to promote your brand. So the key here is showing up. Faire rewards consistent sellers, not the sporadic ones. And every time I hear a client say, I just cannot get visibility on the Faire platform, inevitably it's because they have not been active in several weeks and they are very sporadic in their operational rhythms. So I know strategies are great, but proof is even better. And so I want to talk about Cami. She sent me a message after grabbing my Faire Visibility Playbook, which inside the Faire Visibility Playbook, I talk about all of these strategies and exactly how to implement them so that you are getting more visibility from Faire's algorithm and in turn, more wholesale orders. And she purchased the playbook, and what she told me, she said, I just had this gut feeling. She listened to several podcasts and she literally walked through the course and made the changes step by step. And by the time she had completed that with all of the changes, she had received 5 wholesale orders from all new retailers within 24 hours. So she has her regular retailers, but she was not attracting new retailers. And so that was super exciting for her. And she has continued to be consistent in those rhythms. And so that is something that has just continued to compound those efforts. So she said, my gut was right. She's the real deal. And the course was totally worth it. And I can't tell you how much I love hearing results like that, because the truth is success on Faire doesn't come from random bursts of activity. It comes from rhythm, consistent, small actions that signal to the algorithm that your brand is a winner. And it doesn't take you 2 hours a week. You can take 30 minutes a week, but the fact is you have to be consistent. So if you're ready to make Faire work for you instead of guessing how to work it, then grab the Faire Visibility Playbook. You can grab the link in the show notes. And inside, I walk you through the exact operational and marketing steps we just talked about, step by step in the right order, with templates and scripts and even a review swap strategy that will help you land those reviews from retailers. As I mentioned, the link's in the show notes. And here's the reality. Even if you only get one additional wholesale order from what you implement, you will have already made your money back. So no more wondering if the algorithm is against you. It's time to teach it how to love your brand. So that is it for today. You have been listening to the She Sells Differently podcast. I will see you next week. Until then, I am cheering you on. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of She Sells Differently. Friends, it would be a huge blessing to me if you would take 2 seconds to rate and subscribe to my podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Until then, I'm cheering you on in your entrepreneurial journey. See you next time.